Hey ladies and gents, it's Zembak and we are playing Avorion. And we're going to talk about pirates, right? This motherfucking game will try to kill you all the time, every time. Everywhere you go, there's pirates, there's Zotan, there's fucking somebody trying to kill you. All the time. But we're only going to talk about pirates, not talk about the Zotan and none of that other kind of stuff. Pirates are typically found in hidden mass sectors. They have their own shipyards, kind of like the little mini bases where the pirates hang out, and they attack sectors after sectors. Now I jumped out to, and we're going to look at this here, out into, I'm in here now, but we jumped all the way out here into essentially the Neonite section of space, right? This is where Neonite, Trinium, Xanian, Titanium, and Iron, right? So we're kind of out here on the edge, and we're going to deal with some pirates, or at least some ways to deal with pirates. Now, we have pirates right now currently attacking this sector, and they have all kinds of different names. Like, they pop up everywhere you go. Early game, when you're playing this game, if you're doing anything with a ship or building a ship or working on a ship or doing any of that kind of stuff, you do it in a friendly faction space. In this sense, this place right here, these guys are neutral to me. They don't care what I do, as long as I have no stolen shit on me or shoot any of their ships. I can hang out here all I want. So when you're working on your ship or building on your ship or mining or something like early game, if you have to mine materials, you want to mine materials in these kind of sectors, these green blips on the map. As long as they're friendly to you, these little green blips right here, as long as these guys are friendly to you, you can hang out here, and this is the safest place to build your ship, or of course mine materials. If you're doing it in a open system where there's nothing there, there's no faction in there, you're going to get attacked, and when they do attack, the pirates are always going to come for you because you're the only thing that's in that sector. Here, as you see, I'm a ways away from most of the stuff here in this system, so when the pirates jump in here, they didn't attack me. They went after the faction. So the easiest way to deal with pirates early in the game, not getting fucked, because they'll jump in every time you are supposedly weak. They follow you. You're jumping from sector to sector, and all of a sudden, wham! They pop up, and usually there's a warning for it. All of a sudden, you'll see a warning symbol down here on the bottom that says unknown sources of energy detected, and you'll start getting warnings as they get closer and closer before they finally pop into the sector. So there is a little bit of a warning before the pirates show up, but for the most part, yeah, you're just gonna have to deal with them. Like I said, staying inside these green energy signatures on your galaxy map, typically you can get away without having to deal with them. It's also an easy way to pick up some free prestige points, somewhat, I guess you would call them, diplomacy points, and also pick up some easy money. So like these three that are currently attacking this sector, if I take a swing past them, hit them once, each one of those three or whatever, as soon as they're destroyed, I get a bounty for helping this faction, as well as points for assisting in their damage, or assisting in the kill, which goes toward them being more friendly to me. That's in system. That's in these systems right here. Also, if you're dicking around here long enough, and you can see all the sparkly stuff way out here on the side, these are, of course, ships that have been blown up, or even the friendly factions has been show up. So there's a lot of free modules floating around here, and it's just a simple matter of flying over there and picking them up while everybody's busy shooting at each other. You know, hey, just don't mind me. I'm gonna fucking flow over here. I see a blue one right there. Yeah, there's easy place to pick up some free shit. Like I said, while they are trying to kill each other. Now, I had jumped out here previously to pick up, to do this little video, so I brought one of my N-tier ships with me, the Durandal again. As you can see, that's a hull of 3.37 million, a shields of 5 million, and a Omicron rating of 78,000. This ship is 27,000 hull, and 19,000 shield. This is kind of indicative of what you're going to be playing when you're at this point in the game. You're not going to have a lot of shields. You're not going to have a lot of firepower. I think the Omicron rating on this thing is 1,000, right? Not a very powerful ship. And that's one of the things you're going to be dealing with, of course, until you work your way up to whatever. So I just built this ship. I just put some cannons on it. I used only cannons from the Neonite region of space here, so this is not overpowered. Obviously with an Omicron rating of 1,000, it's not the best. However, so now I've built it, and I'm just going to do a little jumping around here. I got to find some I need a place for captains. I'm going to come back here and pick up some more captains. Captains are always good. You always want to carry extra crew on your ships, especially when you're dealing with all this other shit. What do we got here? I'm looking for a couple gunners. There we go. So he's got some gunners here. Now, that's typically how the pirates operate, at least if you're in a sector. Eventually, if you're in here long enough, they will detect you and they will come looking for you, or any energy signature in general. So if you're in one of these friendly sectors, you're okay, as long as you spend, you pull away from all this stuff right here. So when they do pop in, you don't have to actually engage them. You can just kind of hang out. However, we've talked about the other video I just did about hidden masses and all that kind of stuff. We are going to pop into those hidden masses with a ship that probably shouldn't be in there. And there's a way to do this, to pick up some extra credits and whatnot here. So we're going to flop in here. See if my docking is all right here. Other side. Dock on this ship right there. Pick up some gunners, and then we're going to get on with the actual. I need about 10 of them. There we go. So now I got some firepower. Not much, 1,000. So what the real big difference here is, so this was one of my early game ships when I was in a different galaxy I had built. I dicked around. It's mostly Neonite. It has a little chunk of Xanian on the top with a little bit of Trinium. It's made up of all kinds of different pieces. I started making I think I built this ship when I got into the Trinium section. I had found one Xanian asteroid, enough to build the upper deck on it. But most of the components on it are, like I said, a little bit of everything. It's kind of a hodgepodge of whatever I had at the time. I was rather poor at the time. It was one of my first times I was playing the game. And I didn't know nothing. So it's a mixed match of everything. So it fits well into this part of space, this Neonite space. So I've got my 3 cannons, 1,000 Omicron rating, and now we're going to work on taking out sectors that have pirates in them, but they have valuable objects too. So what we're looking for here is we're going to go to our systems here. Now, what makes this, it only has an Omicron rating of 1,000, which is not very great, obviously. But it does, I do have, this is a torpedo frigate. So there, I have a crap ton of torpedoes. And when you're buying torpedoes, these torpedoes are not really that expensive. They're about, I think some of these are like 2 or 3, maybe 5,000 K a piece. So yeah, you can pick them up relatively cheap. I have 6 torpedo tubes on this ship, so when I buy my initial set, I load my torpedo tubes, and then I can fill my torpedo bays again. So I have probably close to, I want to say probably 70, 80, probably close to 80 torpedoes on this boat, which really actually enhances the Omicron rating. I mean, of course, the Omicron rating is just going to show you what you have for firepower on from your guns. However, with the systems, this is a rather small ship here, so I only have 5 systems. To really make this thing work, and like I said, I'm going to be jumping around here. I'm going to be starting to pop into some of these hidden mass sectors to find out if I can find secret stuff and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to be putting on the radar upgrade, and we're going to drop it in on this one right here, engine upgrade. So to do this, and I'll be honest with you, it's not going to be easy, because when you jump into these places, there's going to be anywhere up to 20 pirates, 25 pirates, then they'll have torpedoes. And that's why I have torpedoes on this boat. I don't want to deal with that many pirates with this low of firepower on this ship without torpedoes. And torpedoes is the big equalizer when you're kind of doing this. I don't want to fire a whole bunch, otherwise the profit I'm going to make off of that system isn't going to be worth it. You know, if there's an asteroid there, I'm only going to make maybe 100 to 200K on that asteroid if I'm lucky. So popping off 30 fucking torpedoes completely blows that that amount of cash. So I've got my deep radar, and we're going to, of course, pick out the galaxy here again. And now we found some hidden sectors here, and this is probably where I'm going to drop in here. Once I start picking these up, there's going to be asteroids, there'll be secret stashes and all that stuff in. Now I'm not going to put on the these detectors here for valuable objects until after I get into system, and there's going to be a reason why. Because as soon as you jump into these systems, you're going to be dealing with a buttload of pirates, and of course I have a shields booster and also this engine upgrade. This is actually pretty important right here. This thing right here is going to keep you alive. I don't have the firepower to take this many ships on, and when you first jump in, you're going to get fucking targeted right away by torpedoes. So what I did, this ship is fast enough that I'm not going to have to deal with it. Now this ship will probably never go back to the center of the galaxy with me. It'll never go back here because it's just not big enough or powerful enough to play here. However, I'll probably end up leaving it out here somewhere, so I can jump out here anytime if I wanted to do some, I can take this ship. This is a Neonite ship. I can jump back out here and start fucking with people, because this ship's going to be more powerful out here than it is here. So I'm going to leave it out here eventually, like I said. So now we're going to jump into the first sector here, and we're going to see if we're going to run into any sort of pirates. Now this, of course, was a hidden mass sector, and apparently there is nothing in here. There is something in here. I'm guessing it's most likely a wreck somewhere that I can't see. Yeah, probably a wreck. I can't see it. So, well, we're going to find the next hidden mass, which is there, and we're going to wait for a 30-second cooldown. And like I said, this is only a 5-slot frigate, so not a whole lot of upgrades you can do. I'm only putting on enough stuff here to survive the initial entry to the point. Now, there's a couple ways you can do this, too. You can don't even actually need to jump yourself into that system. You can, of course, jump in with a drone. Jump out with your drone, move over here, and it's going to give you an idea. Yep, right there. Enter the coordinates with that little drone, and you can just take your drone. As long as your ship's safe, you can jump in there with your drone, and it'll give you an idea of what subjects, your stashes, and all that stuff. But it's going to show you, okay, there's a smuggler's den here. Not too bad. So let's jump to the next one. I know my ship is here. Is there a spot here where I can jump to the next? No, I can't. So I'm going to have to jump back there to use my detector. See, since there is no systems on this drone. So we're going to jump back to our ship. This is an easy way if you don't want to worry about getting your ship blown to shit to do this. Otherwise you are going to jump into a sector and you might not survive it. So if you're worried about your ship not surviving, you can just use this drone to jump into the sector to see if there's anything in there before you jump into it with a ship. However, I find this kind of long and tedious and boring because you're going to be jumping back and forth all the time. And so I usually much prefer just to jump into the area. So now, like I said, there's always a chance that you could possibly, of course, die, right? This is something that you're always going to take a chance on. Now, I don't have a lot of been for very long. So I'm jumping in here, and now I've found, oh, still no pirates. However, I did find a dude here in a cruiser, and we are friendly to each other. This is a lot of asteroids. If you want to jump in here and mine, since that guy's in the cruiser here, you can jump in, and of course there looks to be another smuggler's den. Look at that, go figure. Always nice to know, usually in a group. So there's one there, and we'll jump back out again. So those are always nice to know where those are at. Yeah, so these guys, once again, this is a safe system to work in, since if they do jump in, they're either going after the stations or they're going after these cruisers. Yep, here we go. And now all of a sudden here comes the Zotan, because this is what they do, right? Now, I don't really have to worry much about these guys with this ship, because I don't have to deal with them, because there was a specific reason why I built the ship the way this is. And I'll show you what I'm talking about here. You know, enough. So these guys all of a sudden, and then, okay, with that extra boost on here, look how fast it's accelerate. I hit the boost on it, and of course I go well over 2,000 meters a second, 3,200, and I'm on my way out of there. I don't have to deal with them anytime I want. So, back out, got my jump route ready, and of course they're attacking those guys. I can stay a little far enough away, I never have to deal with them out here in empty space. And we're going to jump to the next spot. And here we have, holy fucking Christ, man. Another asteroid. This is one of these weird prayer holy thing. They create a circle out of asteroids, blah, blah, blah. And there's always a large, I've actually I never went over this part of it, since we're friendly with these guys, or neutral I should say. These guys right here, there's always, if you run into this circle of ships like this, there's always a center asteroid right here. Now if you attempt to mine that center asteroid, these guys are going to attack you. They don't like when you fuck with their holy objects, apparently. It is what it is. Now, I'm using, my hyperspace engine is using up a lot of energy, so I'm losing energy as I jump from each one of these points, which isn't not a terrible bad thing. I could be using a different, you know, I can switch this out here. I don't necessarily have to add more energy to, or I don't actually have to add more to my production of energy. I can just simply add a system if I wanted to. However, this is just for the video, so I'm not going to fuck around with it in here. So I've jumped into space here. I got me some pirates, and immediately as soon as I realize that there's baddies here, I start running the other direction, and I start getting my distance between them and me. So now I got an incoming torpedo here, 2 incoming torpedoes here, and we're going to just move around here, and we're going to see if we can dodge them. We just have, like I said, we have just enough health to stay out away from them, and just enough shields to keep us safe. Hopefully. Yep, see, just got away from them. I wouldn't suggest this, of course, until you get a better system shields. At least I'm kind of living dangerously here. We already have one thing here. Looks to be a beacon of some sort. I think it's probably for one of the missions. Anyway, we'll fucking figure it out later. So I'm in system. I got it far enough away from the pirates. Now remember, that guy right there is the raider. Typically, when they have this little weird symbols on them, there'll be one like that. The one that kind of looks like a guitar. Those are your torpedo launchers. Those are the guys you want to stay away. Typically, torpedoes in this game are about 30 kilometers. Some of the higher end ones are 35, maybe a little bit more. So that guy right there does need to die. He's already at 32. So we're just going to pull out a little bit further here, get some more distance here while I talk. So remember, these systems are pretty big. I don't think I've ever actually found the edge of one yet. While we do that, we're going to go here, and we're going to, of course, pick up. Oops. I'm going to put a set of. Yeah, there we go. So we got a 1 and a 2. So you should only need 1, probably 3 torpedoes to finish up, like 6 super maneuverable. things I like about it. Now we're only here, and you can always check out exactly how far your torpedoes are launching here. This has a range of 45 kilometers. So he's already inbound. We're going to drop some torpedoes on him, and we'll see if we can kill him with the first barrage. Ooh, there we go. That's the guy that's got the torpedoes. And once again, yep, dodging is not that hard with this game, so we've knocked out at least 2 of them now. I'm still not terribly sure what's here in the system, whether it's not worth my time, so we're going to ship over to the shipping here and change up our system to a detector, since it's already in ship. So we got valuable objects detected, so I know there's something in this system. Now, can I deal with these guys? Well, yeah, I can deal with these guys. This kind of depends on entirely what you have for weaponry. I tend to favor these longer range guns, so these guys we're going to put at 3, 3, and 3, and these are rail guns, so they have a fair amount. Oh, there we do. We have one more guy with torpedoes. So we're just going to drop a set there, wait till that torpedo gets a little closer, and then we're going to move and make those torpedoes miss. Yep, and we're going to get out of range out again, and we destroyed another one. So right now I've got into probably 6 torpedoes, so about 30k. Like I said, I don't know exactly what's here. I can just, if I decide to actually take everybody out with torpedoes, I can. Or, like I said, I'm going to switch to guns here, and I'm going to outrange them. These rail guns usually are around 20 kilometers. Most pirates you're going to run into have a lot less than that. Oh, Jesus, man. There's another one with torpedoes. It's alright. Like I said, we'll launch those torpedoes, and we're going to dodge that one again. Once again, highly maneuverable ship, lots of thrust, so I can just simply run away. And I've, of course, destroyed another one of them. Now it's starting to get a little expensive. But you get my drift, right? You can go into these sectors with a relatively not extremely powerful ship. I mean, this is obviously not really that powerful of a ship, and you can deal with these pirates on a fairly decent budget. Torpedoes, highly maneuverable, able to get away. This thing is, like I said, I built it for a reason, which of course was to dodge. It's highly maneuverable, very, very quick thrust and all that kind of stuff here. So I'm kind of curious. Actually, I'm going to drop in my one of my red ones here to see what's actually in this sector. And it's still just showing me that beacon. I'm wondering if that was the only actual thing in here that's worth. Probably. So this probably wasn't a great system to jump into. There's probably nothing in here other than that beacon. However, we're going to pick up, and we'll jump to a different one here and see what we can find here. Hopefully we find something with a little bit more, something a little more interesting than a fucking beacon. God damn it. Alright, let's jump to the next one. And you can do this, you're taking a risk, 1 million credits, So I've jumped into this system, and I have a bunch. So as soon as I jump in, I'm on the run. Like I said, I probably should have upgraded that power problem here. You see me once again having problems issue with energy. I'll probably next time drop in some more power so I can at least keep up my speed here. It's going to take me a while to keep my speed back up here. Now I'm not seeing anything here. This is actually a pirate base. You can see by the shipyard. Yep, right there. There's a shipyard right there, 54 kilometers. So this is actually a pirate base. These guys are far enough out that I don't really have to worry about them even at 20 kilometers. I'm going to wait till our energy rebuilds. And he's coming in. I should be able to start hitting him here, Charlie. It's one of the reasons why I favor railguns. Is the longer range. Most of these pirates, other than their torpedoes, usually don't have really great range. Usually under 10 kilometers. So if you can stay outside of that range, you can just sit here and actually pick most of them off here. See if I can actually hit something. There we go. Now we're starting to hit something. It's good. It would take a little while, but like I said, if there's something in your worthwhile killing, simply sitting here, blowing them up little by little, And these pirates aren't very powerful out here. They don't have big hull ratings. Most of them don't have much of anything. You know, these guys only have 123 for the Omicron rating. Yeah. So it's not going to take me much if I decide to get here into a fight. They don't even have shields. So, but I don't want to. I can get away. Once again, it's okay to run away, fellas. Yeah, we're going to have to change something about that energy. We are losing energy fast every time I do something here. Which is no biggie. So, this is a pirate base. Remember, always mark this on your map. You can come back, destroy that sucker right there. Take all the shit they got in it, all the stolen items, and of course you can take your and salvage it later on for materials. We're kind of doing this on a budget here. I'm showing you how to jump into these systems, take the stuff that's in them, and not have to worry about you know, having to have the super powerful having to do that. However, my biggest issue right now seems to be is power. So we're going to jump back out here, and we're going to put in some power quick here before I jump back into that. How about some neonite? Since that's what we're using here. Neonite generators. And if you like the green look, I guess. Yeah, there's why. I guess I never even looked before I took off of this thing. Exactly how much power it produced. Not even close enough to enough. So drop some neonite generators in there. There we go. That helps. I'll put a few more in there too. Once again, flying. Flying junkyard. So many of my early ships looked like this. They were just, I mean, whatever I had going on, I just stuck them in there. Now let's finish filling this in with some more neonite generators. And yeah, let's see, one more in here. That'll give me a fair amount of energy. See, everything kind of lines up a little bit here. There we go. And we'll cover that later. So now I should have checked that before I took off. My mistake. Don't everybody get mad at me all at once. So we're going to jump into the next sector here. Now I do finally have enough energy. Once again, I still don't have a great, at least ship-wise, I only have 19,000 for the shields and 27,000 for the hull. So I can't really take a whole lot of hits when I initial jump in here. So you always want to make sure you're on the ball and looking for a place to run as quick as possible. So now, short bursts of subspace signals. Most likely at this point we're going to have pirates or Zotan jumping into the sector here within the next couple of minutes. Not a biggie here. Waiting for my shit to straighten out so I can take off. There we go. Where are we at? Yeah, warp space, or warp engines cooled down, and we jumped into the next system than anything. So, drop in here, and we got a bunch. There we go. We got a crap ton of baddies here. Now, with that extra energy, this makes me a little bit easier. Typically, that's actually got me far enough out, I don't have to actually worry about them now. These guys are way out there outside here. And what do we got incoming? About 35k, so we just get a little bit further away from that torpedo, and we should be fine. And of course, like I said, twisting and turning is always not helpful. Yeah, there we go. So what do we got here? We got an asteroid. Sweet. So, you know, at this point, and we're going to zoom back out here what I'm talking about, you can, of course, make this work by simply, actually we have a couple asteroids, pulling these guys out of here, right? If you want to claim those without having to deal with them, it takes a little bit of patience, right? Like I said, there's 1, 2 asteroids here, which is probably going to net me maybe 500,000. So you can simply just wait. So you can see that they're all just streaming toward me. this is, like I said, at the point where you just want to stay ahead of them, suck them away from the asteroids. You know, now my energy is all built back up here. And of course, I do have a place, my engine's cooled down here. I'm going to pick a place to jump just in case everything goes fucking sideways. I always have that ready. We're just going to keep pulling them out here. They're going to keep coming here. And I'm going to start looking for some of the baddies that I might want to kill here. So how close they are. They're a long ways off yet. Alright, so we have, there's one, there's two. Yeah, they're still about 70 kilometers out. And like I said, this is where you're looking here going, okay, can I make a run at it yet? Well, like I said, we need enough space between them and you that you're able to get to that. Okay, that guy right there is a frigate. And he just caught the edge of me. I don't want to. I want that guy. Yeah, there we go. And we're gonna pull up into a three of them incoming. Yep, they're all over there trying to kill me. They're trying to kill me. Close hit. Did I get him? The one that fired at me. You know, of course, like I said, if it gets a little too hot, you can, of course, jump out. And I'm just out of their range now. It's kind of a cat and mouse game, but like I said, this is one of the easiest ways to pull these guys away from what you're trying to do here. Did I hit anything when I was fucking around here? Now remember, I have 45 kilometer range torpedoes, so I can pick these guys off here. So are we far enough away yet that I can possibly do this? Yeah, it's getting better here by the minute. And this actually helps you out. So the alien ships, the Zotans, have arrived. This is going to pull off a bunch of baddies away from you. So they're going to stop chasing you here shortly. And we're just going to accelerate here. Keep out ahead of those torpedoes. And once again, we are just pulling these guys far enough away. Why do I keep hitting escape? Pulling them far enough away. So now we've pulled a bunch of these guys way out here, right? And they are currently probably far enough away. I can probably make a run and pick those guys, pick those asteroids up here. In fact, let's do that here. Let's pull back in here. Let's see if we can pick off a couple of these guys that are flying torpedoes. There we go. I think that was one of them. These guys haven't launched yet, so I'm thinking they probably don't have torpedoes yet. That guy right there, he probably has torpedoes. Okay, nailed him. Oh, there we go. There's a raider. And now it's time to move. Hit the turbos. Bye-bye rockets or torpedoes. Alright, so now we're going in the opposite direction. We're going to do a little end around here. Try to get in around them. We're just staying right out the outside edge of their... And you might take a torpedo now and then. Like I said, this is not always just easy work, but this is one of the easy ways to do this without having to get into a big brawl with a bunch of pirates. You know, I'm just staying out ahead of them. So now I've got my asteroid out here. He's at 117 kilometers. I've pulled down here, and of course I'll pull out here and show you what I'm talking about here. I've dropped below them, and now they're behind me. So there's only a few, and they're, like I said, busy with the Zotans. And you can play it out a lot of times like this. Just let them. You wait long enough. Other pirates are going to jump in here, or the Zotan are going to jump in here, and they're going to get into a fight with each other. And you can just kind of stroll along like here, what I'm doing right now. I'm in a little bit of a hurry here. Pick up these asteroids and claim these asteroids. But like I said, I've launched, I do believe, 4 rockets, or 4, so it's gonna probably about 40k I got so far into this, into the here, and I should pick up easy 200k off these two, maybe more, depending on what I do. Easy money, just a little bit of time and patience, how to deal with them. Like I said, since they're pretty dependable about dropping into a system. You can, when you're fighting a boss, you wait long enough, pirates will jump in. Use the pirates to attack the boss you're fighting. Or if, like for this instance, I'm using them as a distraction while I sneak up on this asteroid and claim it, of course making the money, and those guys are fighting now, and then not even have to worry about it. Even if I do happen to run into one of these cruisers that didn't move, he's not going to have enough firepower to actually even do anything to me here. So you guys are getting the gist, right? There is ways to do this even though you don't have a super powerful ship, that you can jump into these positions. Now, it all takes risks. These are all risks that you're taking to do this. Once you might die. I'm not going to die. I've died a number of times just because when I jumped in, the freaking pirates all were right on top of me. Yeah, but for the most part, if you can get in here, and we'll pick up the claim on this one, and we're going to sell this one. So 143,000 plus reputation. That's always nice. So I might end up with, if I get that other one, probably 300,000 for 40,000 credits. What it cost me to do this. So not too bad. Like I said, 300,000 credits are always nice. Oh, nice big Xanian asteroid. If I needed Xanian, I guess that's probably where I wanted to go to mine. But those are always nice to find. These big asteroids, of course, are always nice to find. Usually they're in the 100,000s plus. This was 86,000. But those are always something you should mark on your map. So now, those pirates are all fucking with each other. Yeah, they're still fighting the Zotan. If you wanted to go over there and knock a couple of them out or whatever, or you can just wait till they all kill each other and then you can go pick up all their stuff that from their destroyed ships you can. So, like I said, pirates, they're dicks. They're pretty predictable. They jump into your systems wherever you're at. If you're there for a long periods of time, they will jump in almost every time. So, in this situation, I used them to my advantage. I used the Zotan to my advantage. They were able to pick a fight here with these pirates and kept them busy. So this is one way to get into a system, get the secret objects in the system without having to have a super powerful ship to do it. You just got to play a little smarter and that kind of stuff. So we're just going to get the move on here. There's the music usually tells you the baddies are coming. So back out here. I actually like to make the ship go a little bit faster. This is another one of those reasons why I use, I had that, right here. The engine upgrades, velocity and acceleration by 25%. Now that I'm in system, I can sit there and drop it in on that detector. Or not the detector, the other one, and you're going to see the huge difference. Look how fast this thing accelerates. And of course, before I was only getting about 3,200 out of it. Yeah. But yeah, that's how quick this thing accelerates with that extra upgrade on there. Something to remember when you're putting these ships together. What's also interesting is that with these, with those upgrades and stuff, it's amazing. You don't necessarily have to build it into your ship. You can just simply do it by putting in the system upgrades. So, pirates, fuck you, buddy. These guys are a bunch of dicks. However, they are beatable. They are pretty much, you can pretty much figure out exactly what they're up to. So, you guys have a good night. I'm trying to get up some more stuff up for you guys, and we'll see you later.